A member of the online community known as Reddit has penned a story in which he discusses his experiences with modern women. In addition to the fact that I was born in the state, I still consider California to be my home for a number of other personal reasons. Even though I had never heard of the location before today, I made up my mind to go check it out nonetheless. Because of the numerous occasions on which women had violated my trust and expected me to clean up after them, I was ultimately driven to the breaking point, and I made the decision to devote myself completely to MGTOW. I was looking for information on a topic, and I came across your article. It was quite helpful. As a result of my participation in MGTOW, I was able to recognize and appreciate many qualities of women that, up until that point, I had neglected to pay attention to. I observed that ladies suddenly showed an interest in me at work and in other contexts where they previously would not have approached me. This was a surprising development. A comparable rise in the number of male admirers was seen at the same time. When they attempted to explain it to me in the beginning, they stumbled over their words since it was so mind-boggling. Nevertheless, things have turned out differently, and the roles have been switched around. They have to demonstrate that they are deserving of my attention in order to get it, and my poker face usually causes them to make mistakes and second-guess themselves during this process. Although I have only dated people in their 5s, I can now say that people in their 9s have exhibited interest in me. This is a significant change from my previous situation. Because of this, I now see what an idiot I was to waste my time on women who weren't deserving of me in the first place. I was concerned that other people would look down on my new way of life, but everything has been going brilliantly so far. I was scared that people would look down on my new lifestyle. At least a couple of the girls that I know have confessed to me that they spend their weekends lounging about the house. In my leisure time, I like to go to the gym, read, or do something that I've always wanted to try but was too afraid to do because I was afraid that other people would judge me adversely for trying it. My new way of life is certainly worth it, especially when compared to the way I used to live and to the lives of my friends who are married. Since I am currently without a job, I have a lot of personal independence as well as extra time on my hands. You invest a significant amount of time with your girlfriends, either engaging in conversation with them or simply listening to them complain about the challenges they face on a daily basis. When it comes to making decisions about their lives, I've heard from a few males say they'd rather put their focus on something other than women. When others begin to question me about the reasoning behind MGTOW, many of them realize that it is something that has always made perfect sense to them. This occurs more frequently as I continue to inform them about MGTOW. I had never been in a relationship before, but I realized that I needed to start looking for one. Or the reasons why I wasn't involved with anyone romantically. I was just expressing that I'm worn out or that I'm looking forward to having a day off. To clarify, what I meant to say was that I am prepared to consider this to be my new normal. This brings an end to my tale. It's a great example of a person who is able to advance their status quo by excluding women from the equation, and it makes for an interesting case study. In my perspective, this serves as an excellent example. If you were to start paying even the slightest bit of attention to the 9s and 10s, it is almost certain that they would lose interest in you as soon as you did so. The unpleasant truth is that this is how girls are biologically made, and there is little that can be done about it. A significant number of ladies struggle to accept the fact that certain men will flat out dismiss them as potential partners. When it does happen, which is extremely unlikely, straight men are taken aback since they would never turn down a woman in the first place. Because of this, it causes people to long for things that are out of their reach. Nearly all of the women who find themselves in this predicament also have tense ties with their fathers. It's possible that they're doing too well in school since their father was absent. To maintain one's attractiveness is difficult. Therefore, whenever a man does not pay her any attention, painful early events come flooding back to her mind. She is aware that she was ignored in the past, but they presently appear to be truly interested in what she has to say. People are searching for an answer as to why he does not have any interest in her and treats her in such a chilly manner. When a man abuses a woman with such contempt, it has the potential to bring the woman's entire world tumbling down. They manage to persuade themselves that if this particular man does not find them appealing, then it is possible that no man will find them attractive. And in an effort to cover up their own insecurities, they will most likely accuse you of being a homosexual. In a nutshell, a recipe for mental collapse is one that involves the neglect of females. Women will feel the need to justify themselves to you more frequently if you are successful in life, unattached, and secure in your circumstances. It's almost as if you're carrying a mirror with you everywhere you go, and it's reflecting their fears right back at them. Because of this, women will stop at nothing to prevent men like you from speaking the truth about the nature of women. They will do anything is in their power to do so. For instance, when men put themselves in monk mode and start talking about the nature of women, the vast majority of female listeners feel defensive and may even accuse their male counterparts of being woman haters or something along those lines. This occurs because men in monk mode tend to discuss the nature of women. They criticize bachelorhood and the men who choose it, despite the fact that at least some of their condemnation derives from their own feelings of inadequacy. They are concerned that this will make it more difficult for single guys to find a partner who is suited for them. Women who concur with this particular individual and comfort him that his way of life is okay are in the wrong. They are, in effect, approving him as a person because they continue to support his conduct. Because at this point he is inaccessible, and because the situation is a disaster for the entirety of the nation if he is unable to arouse a woman, particularly a beautiful one, to feel romantic feelings for him, then they want to sow the seeds of a relationship with him. When a heterosexual male responds to her in this manner, she begins to ponder the question of what the most significant number is in her world. Capability she possesses, specifically the ability to maintain emotional consistency over extended periods of time. Despite the fact that, on the surface, it appears as though she agrees with you, her internal monologue is screaming that a man is ignoring her, and she is going insane as a result. As I mentioned before, they will almost always make an effort, to cast a negative light on you. If you tell them that you no longer want to pursue them or that you are going, they will see this as an indication that you despise women. They will believe this to be the case if you tell them that you are leaving. Women are exerting a lot of work in order to ensure that males who behave in this manner remain on the periphery of society so that their reputations may be preserved. If you are found to be using the term MGTOW, then other people will make fun of you for this reason. You are free to insert it wherever you choose in the description of the tank. However, doing so will result in YouTube taking away all of the advertising revenue you've made from the video. Women make up a large portion of YouTube's workforce. You may easily predict what kind of rules and regulations would be implemented if women were in charge of the organization. You can probably figure out the basic guidelines for this story that is only available to subscribers. Applied in the event that women are in leadership positions, the reaction has been somewhat subdued due to the fact that he isn't actively campaigning for his cause. Their perception of him is that he enjoys being by himself most of the time. Who is unable to communicate with other men what is going in his head or how he truly feels? Do you know what I'm going through in my head? It is my educated assumption that MGTOW, which has been around for as long as the internet has developed to the point where it has its own ideology, not to mention vocabulary and acronyms, all of which are widely used by those who adhere to it. My educated assumption is based on the fact that its adherents use all of these things. Because of the expansion of the internet, we live in a period when thoughts and gossip may move quite quickly to one another, and this is the area in which women have the most difficulty with us. Women are the ones who are most aware of the power that gossip has to spread information and change the subject of the conversation. They are fully aware of the risks associated with gossip in general, as well as the fact that gossip that is specifically directed at them poses an exceptionally high risk due to the fact that it lowers their perceived value. Everywhere in the world, they have a defect that makes them less attractive, which makes it more difficult for them to entice decent guys to join their cause. They used to be able to coerce a man into getting married, but after he did, he never ceded his position of control in the home. In today's society, a guy can be coerced into getting married, and then, after the wedding, the state can take his wife and children away from him. Men who are wise and successful, on the other hand, are gradually coming to the realization that there are numerous forces and regulations stacked against them. Men who put in the greatest effort also tend to command the highest salary in a certain field or industry. They are not so foolish as to believe that destroying their lives for the sake of women would be an effective tactic. They are free to advance their careers without being concerned about breaking into the top 20.